I've played a little bit of Thimbleweed Park. I played it for, I don't know, I've probably put about 3 or 4 hours into it. I'm not opposed to it, and I want to play it. I just haven't got around to finishing that one. "99% of the points, you'd say that's passing grade." I mean, it's not bad, right? Bear with me for a moment here. I just need to add something, and we'll be ready to get it going. Good room. Boom speed run. I mean, that wouldn't be awful, would it? All right. So which Larry did you like best so far? I don't know. 2 and 3 got real close. There were moments in 3 that I felt the game didn't really give you any details on what to go off of. Like, it was very misleading and not in a way that you could work out. 2 didn't really put me on that path. So if I had to pick one or the other, I'd say I think 2 would be my favorite of the 3. And 3 is a very close second. So maybe 2 is my favorite so far. Pardon me.
Incoming ads for you non-subscribers. Use your Twitch Prime now.
Yeah, this one that lets you play as Patty. Indie. Right. This one didn't have any MIDI. It was just, especially for that time, it really was. Hey, John Love, how you doing? Looks like Larry switched out the leisure suit for a fine leather jacket. He did indeed. Now, there is virtually no audio for this one. Indy, why are you all wet? Don't ask. I really have to get out of these wet clothes. 2 is better in your opinion, since it opens up to a wider travel area and is more refined story-wise. I agree with you on that, yep. Hi, I'm Indiana Jones. Welcome to my game. You can press F5 at any time to save your progress. All right. I have played through this one before, but I will make mistakes. There is one thing I will not forget, though, no matter what. We'll go ahead and save. Holy crap! Oh my goodness, it's an Argoroth! It's an Argoroth! Oh, here it is. How are you guys doing? Welcome in, Raiders, FT Michael, Rook's Honor, Tony.
Greetings and salutations.
Kwani, thank you so much for the follow. Compliment Raid. I'm always so kind when talking about other streamers and people in general. I always appreciate that no matter how bad the world gets, you try to keep positivity in the front of your stream. Thank you. That's huge. That's huge, Argoroth. Thank you so much for that. How are you guys doing? You guys came in just in time. The embarrassing game is over. Now we're going to play Indiana Jones. How did I like the ending 3? 3 was good. I liked Larry 3. Good case on beating LSL 3. Well, I was short apparently one thing I didn't do. I was short. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much for bringing everybody here, King Argoroth. I really appreciate it. I don't know if I got a shout out for you already. I'm so bad at doing this kind of stuff. I don't even have an automatic thing. There we go. If you don't know who King Argoroth is, I'm going to give him his own compliment. King Argoroth's one of the nicest guys on Twitch, by far. Talk about positivity. He works really, really hard. Even on days that he himself struggles, I see him push forth more positivity than almost anybody else I know. How you can do it, man, I don't know. He's incredibly respectful of his chat. He's extremely creative. He's also just a super nice guy. And he also shaved his head once for charity. And his face. He's famous for his beard. I think he knows it. Rubber banding violently from Sierra to Lucasarts midstream. Wham. But you know how that goes, right, Winter Slice? Oh, we'll snooze that for a moment. Super nice guy, yes. And Argoroth, for those who don't know, Argoroth streams a whole bunch of different types of games. Generally adventure-style games, story-based games, things like that. But you can catch him also sometimes playing some horror games, which is by far, I think, one of the best stream sequences he has. Where, yeah, you're kind of a scaredy cat, aren't you, Argoroth? I mean, I don't mean to insult or anything like that, but I mean, you struggle with scary stuff sometimes, especially jump scares. And it's part of the stream, and it's hilarious. It's absolutely fun to watch him play this kind of. Point and click games are your nemesis, though. Horror games are a close second, though. So we can really terrify you with some Leisure Suit Larry. No. But seriously, he's an absolute treasure to watch. He's also one of the GOGCOM stream members, although...
Incoming ads for you non-subscribers. Use your Twitch Prime now.
Even I have to cut some of my streams down off that, sadly. The original Grail Diary that came in the game box is awesome. ATM Machine, I wanted so badly to get this game when it came out. I was 17. Yeah, 17 when this game was released. And I probably could have bought it. It would have taken every penny I had at the time, I'm sure. I mean, I was working, a couple of nights a week at like a Little Caesars Pizza or something while I was in high school at that time. Maybe Zach McCracken. Sadly, you've only ever owned this one on compilations. This one's off of GOG. I got this one off of GOG.com a long time ago, and is one of the first games that I streamed, like the third or fourth. In fact, King Argoroth. I played this one, and then I followed it up with Fate of Atlantis. And I think the first time Argoroth came into my stream, that I was aware of anyway, was at the end of Fate of Atlantis. We're actually in Atlantis. We're running around trying to figure out the puzzles and how to get everything working at the end. I think to build or get that tank going. I forget what it was. And my brain was struggling to process all those puzzles. And he was the lone chatter, in fact, at the time. That's how long ago it was. Stream was how you learned that there were Indiana Jones games. And there's so many of them. There's quite a few. I mean, you've got this one, which was really, I think, the first graphic adventure game. And then you had Fate of Atlantis. You had what's the third one? forgot what that one was called. Infernal Machine, and then you have
Greetings
Emperor's
and
Tomb.
salutations.
Puzzles doing a lot of heavy lifting in PNC. Yeah. Well, I mean, in Fate of Atlantis and in this, there are genuinely a lot of good puzzles. I mean, there are actual a lot of puzzles. You just have to kind of understand. Like, let's see. Don't forget, and Lego Indiana Jones, and the one that just came out, the Great Circle, I think it was, is the new one. I still haven't played that one. And Staff of Kings. Staff of Kings, I played. I can't remember if I played Emperor's Tomb. Was Staff of Kings, I think, was on Xbox, wasn't it? And others. But for those who came in with Argaroth, my name is Bitterman, and you'll find me playing old PC games pretty much consistently. That's almost all I ever play. On Tuesday nights, traditionally, it's either a Sierra game or a Lucasarts game. Excuse me. I do get a little bit judicious about what can be a Sierra game because Sierra was both a publisher and a developer. LucasArts was sort of a self-published developer. They didn't really do a lot of games outside of their own IPs. So anything Lucas was involved in could have been on LucasArts, and that kind of, which is ironic. Wasn't there one Lucas game that was on Sierra? I can't remember, like mid-'80s or something. Curious, the Leisure Suit Larry Hits and Misses on GOG is only called Leisure Suit Larry. Does that include the remastered versions? It does, actually. The Leisure Suit Larry Hits and Misses was actually just simply a copy and paste of the disc. Back in the 90s, Sierra released a series of greatest hits, essentially, and that's what this is, Larry's Greatest Hits and Misses. And this contains 1 through 6. Technically, 4 doesn't exist because they call it the Search for Lost Floppies. They never made it.
There's incoming ads for you non-subscribers.
Crap,
Use your Twitch
we got
Prime
ads
now.
coming here. There are a handful of pieces of content that are not included, but it does have all the remasters, any of the remakes. I am sorry, I do need to break for just a moment. I generally pause for ads. It's 3 minutes every 60 minutes. If you guys will give me just a few minutes, we're going to get right back into this with some Leisure Suit Larry. So, be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Like my chat broke. Hang on a second. There we go. Looks like I missed a lot of stuff. Nice only because they removed them on Steam. You're gonna not gonna buy it on. Yeah, you can get them all on GOG.com. Still, honestly, with what's going on with payment systems going after people for things they consider inappropriate for whatever their purposes are, I'd say get it, because who knows? That may be why it got removed from Steam. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I do leave the stream title labeled that on purpose, only because we're midstream. It'll mess up the YouTube channel if I try to change it. I can change it on Twitch, but if I do it from the bot, it goes nuts. Let's see. Let's see. India. I guess it doesn't matter. I gave up leaving VODs posted on mine on Twitch, mainly because it doesn't matter. You sneeze funny and they DMCA you, or they send you a message saying, hey, we've taken all your VODs offline because of whatever, so I gave up messing with it. I don't play copyrighted crap. But they give you crap anyway. It's like they look for every reason possible. They definitely make it hard for you. Thank you, Jewel. Let's see. Going back to Larry. I will be going back to Larry later, Ninja. But basically what happens, for those who don't know, what I usually do is on Tuesdays we'll play a Sierra game to completion, and we'll play a Lucasarts game to completion, and then back and forth. Because there's so many great adventure games, there's so many great stories that both houses published, and they were the leaders, I think, of quality point-and-click adventures and adventure stories. You have a YouTube archive, there's absolutely... Yeah, and that's exactly it. The YouTube one, that's it. But what is coming up next here? Of course, we're going to play Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, and then... what was I saying? Oh, I was going to do King's Quest V, because I'm rotating between King's Quest V and Leisure Suit Larry series, going back and forth. So we'll do Indiana Jones: Last Crusade, then we'll do King's Quest V, and then we'll do a different LucasArts game, which will probably be Fate of Atlantis, and then back to that again. The eternal struggle of accepting that Twitch do this stuff to protect creators, and the system is so borked that it literally could, that literally anyone could try and get their music into their system for strikes. Honestly, King Argaroth, and this is largely my opinion, but I think it's based on the facts that we know. It's a US thing, and it just impacts everybody because they can't easily apply multiple laws around the world, so they just go with the most restrictive one. And if it's too restrictive, they may not even stream in that country, so they may just simply exclude them entirely if there's too many problems to deal with. But the US is so stupid restrictive with copyright laws that I think that's it. Yeah, you're generally right. And that's not to say it's always here, but in this case, it's absolutely a US thing. To give you an idea, King Argaroth, if you don't know who this creator is, there's a creator named Rick Beato. He does music production and diagnosis streams. He basically breaks down songs and shows you how they played them or how they created them, and it talks to the people who wrote and even performed the songs, and I mean, like Sting and that kind of thing. He did a video about a month ago where he gets DMCA hits all the time, and of course, because he has sort of a creator's license to the whole thing, he generally has permission to be able to present some of the music, if not what is it, there's a like a teacher's version that you can kind of circumvent some of it. You could say, hey, look, this is for educational purposes, and that's why I'm doing it, and that's exactly what he does. In any case, there was one instance where a song played, and he got 20 different strikes. It means 20 different people claim to own that one song. That's no way, because it's a scam. The way YouTube's set up, for those who don't know, the way YouTube is set up, well, the way DMCA laws work in the U.S., let me back up a little bit. In the U.S., let's say somebody broke into your house. If there was absolutely zero evidence that somebody broke into your house and all you could really show is that something was missing, it is your burden to prove that wrongdoing has happened. Otherwise, there's nothing to claim. It's just you lost an item, like you just disappeared. You know, it just disappeared mysteriously. You could have lost it yourself. A friend or a family member could have picked it up and walked out the door. Maybe you loaned it to somebody, whatever. However, if somebody breaks into your house and you can show where there was forced entry, then you have proof to say this item missing might be tied to the, you know, to this forced entry, and you can say there's a robbery. The other way is how DMCA works. They basically claim you've robbed them, and you have to prove you didn't. That's DMCA in the U.S. So because of the way that's set up, is that it means that anybody can file a claim. Doesn't matter whether they're legit or not. There is no repercussions for filing the claim. But on YouTube, if you file a claim, then they will demonetize the owner of the video, the person who created it, and then any ad revenue potentially goes to the people who claimed it. If you do that hundreds of thousands of times a month, imagine the pennies that you gain from a lot of videos, and then you can see how the scam works. And since there's no repercussions for them, then they're literally just milking money off of YouTube and other creators. So yeah, that's because of the way US DMCA laws work. That's that whole crap. It's just dumb. It's really dumb. And yeah, and it's all automated. It's purely automated. They don't even really go on there and look. And in an ideal world, that auto scan feature would protect people. Yeah, they would. But then people get gamed, try and claim ad revenue. Yep. And it makes you, as a creator, have to go back and actually fight these. I mean, you don't have, it's not like you have to go hire a lawyer or something like that. I mean, unless it gets really serious, I'm sure. But you know, just to file a, you know, hey, this is a wrongful claim, whatever, you can argue the copyright. And generally speaking, in the past, when dealing with Twitch, I haven't had any problems getting it removed. The most egregious one was they claimed that sirens, like ambulance sirens and fire engine sirens, were copyrighted. I'm like, what? Soon as YouTube added a revenue share system for copyright, they opened the door to scammers. Yeah. And I don't blame YouTube. YouTube is just trying to stay off of the radar of, you know, potential U.S. laws, like violating U.S. laws, because the way they're treating, let me put it this way. If I put something valuable in my home, I'm going to use the home analogy again. If I put something valuable in my home, it is on me to make sure that the door is secure, that nobody can break in with ease, and my insurance very well may rely on how secure that house is or that building is, if it's valuable enough, if I'm insuring a very expensive item. Like, say, for example, somebody who works on very expensive cars. They might have several, you know, $100,000+ cars in their facility. They have to have enough insurance to cover it. That means that the insurance agency comes out and says, hey, you don't even have doors on this place. There's no fence. They could just come in here and, you know, in the middle of the night and steal a car. They very well may drop your insurance. However, if I put secure doors and things like that, well, YouTube, the way DMCA works on that is that DMCA doesn't say it's not the person holding the valuable items that is responsible. Instead, they blame the owner of the valuable item. It's dumb. They have copyrighted music, and they have copyrighted in music pieces with no sound in it. They have copyrighted it as, and this will really blow your mind, Killick. This will absolutely blow your mind. So music nowadays doesn't really, there's very little creativity for the amount of pop music that we have nowadays. So if you listen to a lot of new music, sometimes you'll hear old 80s tunes. Like they'll literally sample pieces, like the whole backing piece of an 80s tune, and put new lyrics and melody over it. And they may even re-instrument it and whatnot. If you go and look at the list of writers for that particular tune, sometimes they don't even include the writers' names. It's like, what? You straight up, like, they took the Eurythmics, I forget what the name of that song was. These dreams are made of these, whatever. There's one song that's that music, and they did another set of lyrics over it. They don't even give them credit. None. In legal terms, you can generate 30-second sound piece of complete silence, which can be completely equal to the original, even on binary level, but legally speaking, ambiguous. The color byte determines if it's the cover or stealing or what. It's dumb. Yeah, Sweet Dreams. Thank you. You're gonna get it. Want to listen to this? No, I'm sorry, King Argrod. This is one of those touchy subjects with me. You go and decompress, enjoy, and relax. Thank you so much for that raid, by the way. But it's just ridiculous. Your study on technology is finally working well with this topic. They can use data integration automation to better their systems to maintain access to exploit the network. Yeah. I haven't copyrighted that sound. Probably. Yeah, probably. What I'm really waiting for, because I don't know if you've seen these or not. I've seen some streamers. Free Needles use this back when he had some surgery and he couldn't talk. But you can use AI reconstructed voices. Like you can train AI bots to talk like you and sound like you. What I'm waiting for is the first well-known creator to get a copyright hit on their own actual live works from one of these bastards. Damn scammers wish they had the kind of creativity of MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice. You know, it's really funny because there was actually a good bit of hate around Ice Ice Baby from Vanilla Ice over sampling from the bass line from Queen. And I want to say that and MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This both resulted in lawsuits that helped define what was acceptable in sampling. And the argument I know with Ice Ice Baby is that he added one extra note into the beat. And then claimed it's not really a sample. We didn't steal it. Well, I mean, okay. So instead, it's like taking the title for the book War and Peace and putting the War and Peace in front. Just adding the. The is all it took to change the title. No, it's still War and Peace. Don't mess with me like that. Don't mean to derail it, but you playing this with graphic smoothing enabled. You got this game on Steam and found it has a toggle when pressing Alt S or when not full screen, clicking the menu on the top left of the emulator window. Oh, really? Well, I'm using SCUMM VM currently. I don't know what Alt S. Oh wait, oops, wrong one. Well, Alt S saves a screenshot, so taking War and Peace and changing it to War, or War ampersand Peace instead of AND Peace. You think Steam runs it in DOSBox? Yeah. Oh no. I'm stuck mentally, Kira. It should have been their failure, not the artist. Yeah, I agree. Well, here's an interesting thing, Mentally Numb. There's a real weird challenge with rock and pop music because if you go back, like you listen to somebody like Led Zeppelin, even the Beatles, particularly in the early, like the first 3 or 4 albums, Rolling Stones, The Who, they use a lot of blues standards to build their music from, like the bass and the chord structure and everything. So it's hard to really copyright that part of it because then it gets into the question of who really wrote it, and it can go back decades, if not even centuries, depending on the roots of the style. And so they can really only get away with words and melody. And that's one of the reasons why you see stuff like they'll rip music from something from the 80s and then make a new song and on top of it, and it's just really lacking creativity. But well, let me put it this way. I talked to a kid I ran into at work the other day, and there was a Time magazine sitting on the counter, and on the back of it had 4 guys standing there. And I went, "Oh, look, it's the Beatles." And he goes, "The Who?" I said, "No, it's the Beatles." And he goes, "Who's that?" And I said, "John, Paul, George, Ringo, the Beatles." He was like 18. He had no idea. Yeah, it's so sad. That's not the Who. He doesn't look anything like Roger Daltrey. Was that Chris Rock that did that? I remember, How Do DJs Make Money? Yeah, How Do DJs Make Money? Remembering that there's some song that used the beat of Werewolves of London. There may be. That sounds familiar. The Who was in Kuti Gatwa, but he left the show. The Guess Who? The Beatles? The Who? Who's on first? All right. The one thing about these games is it's all click. You can use the keyboard like Q, W, ER. And I think T when it's available, because it's grayed out.
Greetings and salutations.
And then ASDF will do the second line, and ZXCV will do the bottom line. Which is kind of cool, but you can't move around using the arrow keys. You can right-click, and I think it'll sometimes automatically. Not in my good suit. It'll get all wrinkled and sweaty. Five years ago, there were guys who programmatically created every possible 8-note, 12-beat melody combination and released them to public domain. Yeah, I mean, that's nuts. It's really nuts. It's crazy how millions of dollars isn't enough for some people. Number must go up. It's a mental problem. I mean, seriously, they've got serious mental problems. It's like once you get to a certain point, what's the point? Were computer mouses even widespread when this game came out? It was new. Gary, this game came out in 1990. I remember in 1989, my mother bought the first mouse. I will say that most likely they weren't that common, but she bought the very first mouse. It was a Logitech. Cost her $100 was what she told me it cost when she bought it. 1989. So you can imagine it's probably closer to, I don't know, 200-ish or so now. Ridiculous. So they weren't that common. They were too expensive. Nikora says that the Kid Rock, how did Kid Rock get away with stealing the opening bars of Warren Zevon's Werewolves of London to use as a song all summer long? Oh, really? Hey, father of two girls, good to see you. You're using Logitech today. I'm using Corsair today. As you can see the logo upside down. Let's see. Go easy on me. I'm a bit out of shape. Ah, I knocked him out cold. 10 minutes later. Want to go again? Maybe another time. You don't really get anything for this. It does show you how to do the boxing. If you ever play this game, I highly recommend that you go in the ring and you play a little bit, because boxing becomes a bigger deal later on in the game, and it's a real pain in the neck. Just got back yesterday after a short, much needed.
That's right, you stupid
Hey,
son
Steve
of a bitch.
Malowski. A much needed cruise, you say? Cruise to nowhere, or did you actually have a destination? Mice used to be advanced tech. Mac always came with a mouse, of course, but PCs often didn't. Didn't really need them. Honestly, to me, the mouse was sort of a backwards invention, because one of the funniest things that people tend to, they appear to think, but don't realize until they've been shown. But mice are slower to use than a keyboard. And the reason why I say that is because you have to locate and click on something. And most everything requires that you end up using a keyboard, right? In this case, push, open, walk to, use, pull, close, pick up, turn on, that kind of thing. Or I can click on it down here. But it's much easier. Oh, I want to look at that. Or I want to, what is that? Or open, excuse me. What is that? What is that? Turn off. Is there a light switch around here? You know, let's see. Use mallet on bell. Did you ever get have that big mouse, the ball on? Oh, trackballs. No problem, Echo. Yeah, you want one for gaming? I've played with them, but I never could get in. I never could get comfortable with them. I figured they'd be a lot of fun for, like, missile command. Or something like, or a centipede, you know? Use a 4K monitor and just finding the cursor on some games takes several seconds. Yeah, waving the mouse around. But the keyboard, you always know. You can tab, shift tab, you know, Control Z, Control V, Control X, you know, Control Y, all that kind of stuff. If you keep your hands on the keyboard, they're always available. It's much faster. Of course it is. All right, so let's get out of the door. Let's explore. Things have to happen quickly here. Okay. Talk to Marcus. You have a trackball. They're cool, but you won't get used to them quickly. Hello again, Marcus. Did I miss anything while I was gone? Let's see. Remember last month, Professor Mulberry asked you to date that expensive Mexican statue he'd bought? Why, yes, that cheap imitation. Of course, he didn't believe me until I broke it in half to show him the cross-section. That may have been a bit harsh, considering his situation. Don't be a twit, Marcus. He had it coming. What do you mean, considering his situation? You see, we've hired a new geologist who fancies himself quite the archaeologist. He advised Mulberry to buy that statue. This is a movie, but imagine how great the movie of Fate Atlantis. Oh, Fate of Atlantis, I think would have been a great movie. They should have done that instead of the Alien ones. The original fourth one. Playing FPSs with just a keyboard kind of sucks, though. You're right, it does. There are uses for it, but just like playing, like I said earlier, you know, Missile Command would be great for a trackball. Kind of sucks with the mouse. It feels weird to me. Definitely would really suck with the keyboard, but it would work best with the trackball. But that's the way the game was designed, right? And it worked for Doom. It worked for Wolfenstein 3D. But they're designed differently, right? It's really the way the games were designed or the interfaces were designed. Most interfaces for DOS were not really mouse focused. Like, they didn't design them for a mouse. They would add features, make it easier. Just finished playing this with your girlfriend yesterday. Had to lean on a walkthrough. It was it's pretty rough. It does have its moments, doesn't it? Surely you didn't concur with that opinion. Me? Lead Mulberry on a wild goose chase? Why, well, never mind. Congratulations on obtaining the cross. Thanks. We can discuss my honorarium later over dinner and champagne. Asteroids was a trackball, but it's good even using a keyboard. Yeah, that one works pretty well. Let's see. There are various treasures and artifacts that I bought back from my expeditions. Let's see, we'll open that door. It does. It goes from softlock segment to maze segment to trial and error segment to time segment. There is one softlock in this game. Did you enjoy this one, though, some guy in a hat? Because I enjoyed this one, but I ended up getting almost to the end of the game and then having to start over again because I forgot one thing, or missed one thing. I didn't forget anything. I just didn't catch it. Students, please be patient. I'm sure Dr. Jones will be here soon. But we've been waiting for him to sign our cards all day. Yeah. Hey, Kim Dream. So far, not too bad. I think she just died on her desk. Irene, what is happening here? Oh, Dr. Jones, I'm so glad you're back. These students are very upset. Let's see. Just a moment, folks. I'm sure we can work something out. You know of a softlock in the castle to do with a keg of ale? Sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember running into one specifically, but it is in the castle. You can let it spill out all over the ground rather than using it for the puzzle you need the ale for, yeah. Oh, you mean to get the guy drunk? Technically, there is an alternate solution, but it's very difficult. Yes, and just like the item that you can miss at the beginning here, if you miss one picture, you can still technically get through the game, but you better be really good at boxing. Like, really, really good at boxing in this game. And that is very, Very hard. You don't recover health. I think you get like a couple of health kits or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I remember you pretty much better than Punch-Out. Yeah. Let me put it this way. Mike Tyson, only one health kit. Yeah, I knew there was like one or something at one point. Yeah. And then once you get done with the castle, you still have to continue fighting, and he doesn't recover any health in between. It's like his health stays the same all the way through the game, except for that one health kit. Permanently depleted from the training fight, yeah. Which means I really need to restart the game, actually. I've been goofing as it was, so I think that's what I'm going to do. That was the one thing that I hated about this game, was how they treated the health. As simple as this sequence really looks, I like it quite a lot. It gave me the movie vibes. Jingo was me! Ron Gilbert. Fate of Atlantis made the boxing much easier and also introduced an insta-win cheat hotkey for most fights, yeah. You would have enjoyed a parody fist-fighting mechanic in Leisure Suit Larry, where Larry just gets his ass handed to him over and over. Poor Larry. All right, I missed the whole opening when I was chatting before. Hello, Marcus. You're back. Yes, and I have the Cross of Coronado. Wonderful. I know you. How long you've been looking for that? All my life. Indy, why are you all wet? Don't ask. I like that. I really have to get out of these wet clothes. You were looking into games and found the Want Some Rye reference. I didn't know what that reference was from before. You know what's really cool, Gary? And most people don't know this. I mean, like the vast majority of people who know what that reference is, by the way, just so y'all know.
Want some rye? Of course you do.
So that comes from this game, Return to Zork. But there's one really cool thing. When I saw this, I didn't expect it, but when I saw this, I had thought to myself, when this game came out in 1993, they already knew what a meme was. And they knew where it was going to go. Let's see. Hang on a second. You're going to die laughing. This is hilarious. So, you know, Infocom, excuse me, they put all kinds of stuff in there, you know, the order forms and the warranties and your technical guide and all kinds of goodies, right? Pretty common. But when they asked you about the comments, this is what they put in the game. Have some comments? Of course you do. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. When I first saw that, I went, oh my God. Want some rye? So they knew good and well that was going to become like the biggest line out of the entire game. Oh, I do too. I love this game so much. It's hilarious. It's fun and it's funny. Oh, I forgot to put the sorry, I keep paper in here to keep the floppies from bouncing around inside the box. There we go. That's just one of the craziest things I think I'd seen in a game. The Lively clan is most of the cast. Isn't it crazy? For those who don't know, if you know who Blake Lively is, her sisters and brothers, and I think it was her mother and dad, both are in it. So it's kind of weird. Let's see. In fact, her mother, I think it's her mother, is the one that plays the witch in the swamp. Oh wait, I gotta go and talk to Marcus first. Let's see. Mulberry asked you to date that expensive Mexican statue he bought. Blah blah blah. Yeah, Robin Lively's the fairy. She plays the fairy in the woods. The mother is the witch, and I want to say one of her brothers is in it too, but I can't remember what his name was. I should have pulled the manual out. It has the cast listing in it, but it's also on IMDb. There's several places you can look it up. Let's see. Marichan, how you doing? Have I played the 16-color version of Last Crusade? The art in that version is much better. I haven't. I wasn't aware there was one, to be honest. Although I shouldn't be surprised. $16-color version was the original. This is the later VGA upgrade. Yeah, they did the same thing with Monkey Island. I'm pretty sure when I played Monkey Island, the first one, yeah, and much has happened with yeah, exactly. Hey, Monafe, this was the first version of Indie you played. It's a good one. The Amiga version has this version of this is kind. Is it really? That's the first time I've heard somebody say the Amiga version sucks. You grew up with a Macintosh version, which is basically the 16-color version with high-res fonts and a few other graphical changes. As long as there is fair way. The Amiga version of this is basically the... Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, that's pretty much the way it's always been. It's like looking at console ports in the early 2000s. Nice Sam and Max totem pole. Yeah, Sam and Max almost always make an appearance somewhere. Let's see. Did the on-screen chat break again? Probably. It seems to do that. I don't understand why. I wish I have it set to auto refresh whenever I leave the scene and come back. You know what? Maybe I should turn it off. It seems to break after we've had a break. Let's see. All right. What did I look? Oh, I looked at it, but it didn't tell me anything. I won this medal in a boxing tournament. Need this with me. Of course, you can look at so much stuff. One of the big complaints that I had about this game is that they pretty much tied some kind of a response to just about every pixel in every scene, which is ridiculous. It's very warm. We covered this from a strange Brazilian tribe that worships dogs and rabbits. Am I playing this game stretched? Sometimes SCUMM VMs start that way, such as the dig. No, it's not stretched. I actually have SCUMM VM set up so that it will always keep the aspect ratio correct. Even if I scale the window around, it'll just leave black bars on the top or bottom, depending on how I've got it skewed. He's been in chat a few times. What? Who's that, huh? When I mentioned him earlier, yeah, that I haven't seen or read Free Needles in a while. Hope he's doing great, actually. Yeah, he pops in during the day sometimes. In fact, he was here yesterday morning, I think it was. He's working on a book. He's an author, and he writes. He actually, I want to say he did technical journals or something like that on the side. But he's writing a book. He said he's on the last chapter when I spoke to him yesterday. He played Albion and was never the same after experiencing such majesty. The dig is an opening scene that looks wrong at the proper aspect ratio. That's not unusual. Yeah, that's not surprising. But no, it shouldn't be stretched. It's one of the things I don't like about SCUMM VM. I like SCUMM VM for the primary, especially with Sierra games, primarily because it usually fixes anything that is CPU cycles based. So if there's a timing that can be broken because the cycles are too high or too low, SCUMM VM usually fixes that. That's something they focus on. Whereas in DOSBox, or if for example, I could play this on my Pentium 2, and this would probably play fine on the Pentium 2 on it, to be really truthful. But if I played something like King's Quest, or if I played Colonel's Bequest on the Pentium 2, it would break all kinds of stuff because it's too fast. You prefer DOSBox, especially for LucasArts. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their preference. I prefer DOSBox in general, but for Sierra games especially, I tend to focus on LucasArts. He's not the only one, a German retro streamer you want to change whole streaming plans after Albion. Well, I didn't quite change all of mine after streaming Albion. I wanted to. Does that count? SCUMM VM is an approximation that gets a lot of little things wrong. Yeah, it's not perfect, but that's the problem too, really, with DOS games. If you want to play it exactly right, you pretty much have to find yourself a 286 or a 386 or even a low-end 486 and play them like that. I've got the hardware. That's not a problem. But the CPU is just too fast. So I don't mess with it usually. You bought this on GOG and it came with SCUMM VM. This game had a big point of no return, you can't save sign. And SCUMM VM was like, that's where you belong, bucko. It's the appropriate response, Winter Slice. I got this from an African shaman near Kinshasa. Let's see. Let's see. Can't move it. It's just junk mail. Aha, here we go. This is what I was looking for. This looks important, but I'll leave the other junk here. Lots of Zach McCracken references here, yeah. Forgot how many games back then are tied to CPU speed. You know what? Things of your mind is one of the things somebody mentioned is that Al Lowe apparently was unaware that CPU speed was an issue with games. So even some Leisure Suit Larry games, he continued programming on older hardware even into the 90s. And as a result, it caused problems. Like it ended up resulting in issues with some of the Leisure Suit Larry games, even in the early 90s, that just don't work properly on, on 486s and Pentiums. when the games came out. In the 16 color version, there's a bit of a copy protection at the start that isn't in the VGA version. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Let's see. Open package. I don't see anything pertinent right now. Dang it, it was a long, tough one. I don't think there was anything else in here. Dr. Jones, come with us, please. Indy has to translate something for Marcus using a translation table in the game box. Okay. Good morning, Dr. Jones. I hope I didn't alarm you. I'm not used to such unorthodox methods of introduction. I'm sorry if my men inconvenienced you. My name is Walter Donovan. I know who you are, Mr. Donovan. Your contributions to the museum have been extremely generous. And I must say, some of your pieces here are quite impressive. Like yourself, I have a passion for antiquities. Have a look over here. You may find this interesting. Early Christian symbols, middle 12th century, I'd say. Where did you find it? In the mountains north of Ankara. Can you translate it? The top portion is missing, but the rest... A spring welling up inside him for eternal life, through the desert to the canyon of the crescent moon, where the cup that holds the blood of Jesus Christ our Lord resides forever. The Holy Grail, Dr. Jones. It will bring eternal life to whomever drinks from it. An old man's dream. Every man's dream, including your father. He's the foremost Grail scholar in the world today. In any case, an attempt to recover the Grail is underway. But the slab's incomplete. You don't know where to look. This slab is one of 2 markers left by 3 knights during the First Crusade. The Franciscan manuscript tells of the second marker buried with one of the knights. It suggests that a description of the Grail can be found on the way to the knight's tomb. It also says a painting was made of the Grail that answers a question my father had. Does the Grail actually glow? But it doesn't say where the knight's tomb might be found. Our team leader believes it is in Venice, Italy, and that is where he disappeared. We'd like you to take over his quest. You've got the wrong Jones. You should talk to my father. We already have. He's the man who's disappeared. A little music would have gone over well here. Yeah, this one has LucasArts was really slow to introduce full soundtracks. I don't know why. Fate of Atlantis has it. Monkey Island had some more than this does. The second Monkey Island had a full soundtrack. I don't know why. You played Fate first, then this. The lack of audio is so noticeable, but you get over it. Yeah, that's the one thing. I usually will play some audio, some music or something. But music does pop up on occasion, and it kind of interferes with what you're hearing in the background, so I kind of leave it quiet. Let's see. Zero's bleeding edge with this. Yeah, well, I mean, King's Quest IV came out in 87, and they made a big deal about making that all about music. Even putting it on the back of the box. Full soundtrack. They even included the composer's name and everything. You clean the list of people. Professor Ravenswood. You clean the list of people following on Twitch. So you can find cool channels like this quicker on your list. Yeah, right? Thank you. I appreciate that, Monofe. That's pretty awesome. And promoting the MT32 cards in their Interaction magazine and giving you $100 off on the MT32 device itself, which is pretty impressive. Then you can go out and buy a mouse. There's a class in session. Tastes great, less filling. This dude's got some serious big glasses, doesn't he? We've already been here. Let's see. Don't talk to me, Dr. Jones. It's the students who are upset. We all know MT32 sounded great, but back in the day, how many people had one? Less than 1%? Way less. I mean, they were $800 brand new. By comparison, that'd be like buying a 5090 right now, like an NVIDIA, like an RTX 5090. They would be about that expensive. It's crazy how pricey they were. Yeah, see, I didn't really need to come in here. I know what I need to do. Remember where I need to head to. Yeah, in fact, I was living with beeps and bloops. I didn't even have a sound card until I think we got a 486. Let's see. All right. What a mess. I wonder what they're looking for. Read them many times. This is what I missed. That right there. That painting. And I had to start all over again. You only had a Sound Blaster card, 16, AW32, and towards the end, one that I think had a 64 in the name. Well, there was an AW64 as well. I had like one of the Crystal Audio chips, like one of the earlier onboard audio that was introduced. It didn't work very well. It sounded okay, but it was real flaky. There's another Zach McCracken reference if you open the fridge. Really? After that, he was integrated on the motherboard. I had that. I went from that to another Sound Blaster. I think it was a Sound Blaster 16 compatible onboard audio with a compact with the 166 that we had. And then for my first PC that I built was a Pentium 2 that I built myself was a Pentium 2 that had a Sound Blaster Live. And then I went to an Audigy. I had a Vortex audio at one time. I didn't like it. I had more problems with it. Crashed a lot. Hey, Dick Danza, how you doing? After seeing this mess, I'd rather leave it alone. He won't open the fridge.
So,
There's probably nothing in there but an
about
old egg.
You mean the latest masterpiece of fantasy storytelling from Lucasfilm's Brian Moriarty? Why, it's an extraordinary adventure with an interface of magic. Stunning high-resolution 3D landscapes, sophisticated score and musical effects, not to mention the detailed animation and special effects, elegant point-and-click control of characters, objects and magic spells. Beat the rush! Go out and buy Loon today!
I want to say the Audigy was the last one that I had as well, and I managed to kill it. I actually managed to kill it. Wasn't trying to kill it. I think I burned it out. I was using it and trying to mix stuff like game or doing some tunes and whatnot, and it really wasn't suited for that purpose. And I think it just overheated and died. Chuck the Plant. Oh, where was Chuck the Plant from? What was that from? Was that Maniac Mansion? Let's see. You once went to a retro gaming event and your only cosplay was wearing an Ask Me About
Incoming
Lou
ads
name
for you
card. That's
non-subscribers.
awesome.
Use your Twitch Prime now.
I love it. He's in a few games. I probably saw it was probably what I just that I saw him in. Also put Chuck the Plant in The Cave. Oh god. I can't remember. It was an internal. Go through Dad's underwear. Never. Pluck the Chant. I can't remember if there was something else that I'm missing here. It's weird to have a LucasArts game that you can actually soft lock yourself on. Nice day out there. You tried playing this one, couldn't get past the fighting, and the library made you upset. The library is tricky, but once you understand, it's actually not too bad. Once you you just it's a very challenging exercise in what pixel looks different. Trying to figure out which window is the right window. It's like you have to look at the book and you have to be really, really careful because the changes can be sometimes very subtle. You think it was something along the lines of producer wanted to name one of the characters in Maniac Mansion Chuck, and they obliged him by naming the plant Chuck. Not quite what he imagined, so it probably wasn't. Yeah, it was early LucasArts head Steve Arnold, whose default suggestion for naming characters was apparently Chuck. What are we going to name this character? Chuck. Why Chuck? Because I said so, Chuck. Yeah, pixel hunting. Pixel hunting in a visual level. And did you take your orichalcum along? Yeah. Oh, man, the orichalcum. That was in Fate. Hey, where's Lemonade? How you doing today? You know, I'm going to save. Okay. All right. Travel. Venice. How are we supposed to recognize our contact, Dr. Schneider? Maybe he'll recognize us. Dr. Jones? Yes? I knew it was you. You have your father's eyes. And my mother's ears, but the rest belongs to you. Looks like the best parts have already been spoken for. Marcus Brody? That's right. I'm Dr. Elsa Schneider. Oh. Could you tell me about my father's disappearance? Of course. We were working in the library when it happened. I'll show you. Think it'll take a nice, relaxing gondola ride. Very well, Marcus. And mountain copper is the literal meaning of orichalcum? Really? I had no idea what orichalcum was. That's funny. This is the library. Looks more like a church. You couldn't be more right. It was a church during the Crusades. Now, just before your father vanished, he was muttering something about Roman numerals. I'm going to pause here as soon as I get a chance. He said he'd searched everywhere for them without success. Library should be closing soon. I'll make sure we won't be bothered. Then we can look around. Thank you for that follow, by the way. Welcome in. Excuse me, sir. Pardon me. And that's one of his materials. Oh, sweet. The reload. Thank you for the compliment, by the way. I appreciate that. I'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere. Just a few minutes, and then I'll catch up on the messages. Hey, welcome back, everybody. All right. You know what? That should actually bring up the title. Hang on a second. But it's not working. I think that was Ages of Rock. Chan, I think that was it. Hey, for 8-bit gamers. Yeah, I might be able to make this command work. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to add a quick command here in the chat, or in the chat bot. Let's see. Is it? Well, I appreciate that. Let's see if this might actually not work right now with the music not playing. Yeah. There we go. So I've added music as a command that you can use to tell you what is currently... It's not playing currently, it's paused. So now, next time if you're curious or anybody's curious, you can always type music, ! Music, and it'll tell you what the song is. Because the way the music player works and Mix It Up is that it pauses it, and it doesn't tell you what's playing automatically until it starts a new song. So that's that. Anyway, where were we? Play. Okay. Boom. Boom. And the Reeler AV, thank you very much for that compliment, by the way. Guild Wars 2. I haven't played 2. I played the first one. In fact, I've been playing with it on and off lately because I never finished the first one. I got all the way up to like the final missions, and I could never get through the rest of it. You didn't know that orichalcum was a metal that was mentioned in Greek literature, but which people were not certain of what type of metal it was. Oh, really? I didn't know what it was at all. There was a shipwreck found about a decade ago that had some ingots that might have been orichalcum, or might be orichalcum. It was probably zinc copper alloy, yeah. Boom. Boom. Let's see. This guy I don't think will talk to this. I know what we need to do here, but yeah, he's not going to talk to me. So what we need to do is... dedicated to my favorite little library from a lover of fine literature, Dr. Algieri. Tales of the Ark of the Covenant and other outlandish folk stories. Right. So you have a bad case of EGA.
Holy crap!
That was unexpected. Thank you for the raid, Joey. How you doing? Welcome in. You guys came in just in time. We're searching for books in the library. Used to be a church. So I'm gonna go back. You said yes. I saw Chelna mention that just before. Welcome in, Joey. How was your day? You're right. Doesn't look like he got an upgrade at all, does he? It kept his age. Boop boop. It's Thundertorming there, and you're excited. If it was Thundertorming here, Mystic would be hiding. Hey, MHB, how you doing? Welcome in. Poor Mystic. He hides behind the toilet when it rains sometimes. How was your stream tonight? I hope you had a fantastic time. Let me give you a quick shout out here. It's pretty cool. Once again, time to remind myself how much I suck at Impossible Mission. If it's a platformer, I would probably suck at it myself. I suck at platformers or real-time strategy. I love playing them, but man, I'm bad at them. And some adventure games are just rough, impossible. Like they make it impossible to get through the game. Like Sierra. And I think there's one, there's one book I have to hunt down specifically, but I don't remember where. For those who came in Joey's stream, number one, thank you for coming over. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a great time with Joey's stream tonight. And welcome to my channel. We're currently playing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. We're really early on. I just started it. We finished up Leisure Suit Larry 3, Passionate Patty, in Pursuit of Pulsating Pectorals. Boy, that's a hard thing to say. And now we're following through with some Indiana Jones for the last, 40 minutes of our stream tonight, actually. I've played this one before, but it's been about 5 years. And I vaguely remember what to do here in the library.
Greetings and salutations.
Thank you very much for that follow. You don't think you absolutely need any of the books in the library, but there's a couple that will definitely make things easier. Yeah, there's one that gives you, it's like a map or something later on. The primary thing is to look at these numbers, look at these, and read these plaques. That's the big deal. There's 4 things that you look at each one of these locations. That's what I need to do. But I'm not going to mess with them yet. Your LucasArts stress. Everybody hates this one. All about snakes. I hate snakes. And the funny thing is there's like one... there's not a way to scan, if I'm not mistaken, right? All you can do is just click, because there's not really a way to visually scan. There is a what is, yeah. But you still have to click. And that's the real catch. You can't hover your cursor over it. Like, it'll show books, right? Is that what it's doing? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Right, you're right. That is what it's doing. Okay. Never mind. See, I told you it's been a while since I played this one. Usually, one of the books that I'm looking for is a large book, if I'm not mistaken. What is books sure does sound like someone who doesn't read, especially somebody who's a professor of archaeology. You'd think reading would be a requirement. After you looked up the interface, it was easier. Yeah. Yeah, once you understand the interface, it makes more sense. I had forgotten the what is verb worked this way. And I'm glad it does. You found out when you use the what is command found the correct book. It reads book instead of books. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. I'm just looking for a flicker at an unexpected time. And one of them, it's usually like a really big book. So it kind of sort of stands out, or at least if I remember right, it stood out. But thank you for that, because I did totally forget about that. In Raiders, the script established Indy as bad at languages, but that went away by the time of Last Crusade. But you know what's funny? They still bring up him being bad at languages, him pitching a fit with his father at the beginning. What is it? Count to 10 or something like that in Greek. There it is. He's just annoyed about it, yeah. It's that book by Hitler, Mein Kampf. And he flubbed at the end, too, with the floor tile puzzle. Yeah. There's another... Isn't there another book, though? There's like a larger book. I swear it had a map or something. Something else different. There are 3 books. Okay. There it is. How to fly a biplane. That's right. Yeah. Fly, yes. Land, no. They help solve other puzzles, yeah. The books hold a clue to the floor, no. No, the Grail Diary has the clue to the floor. But they're, yeah, like ATM Machine said, they help solve other puzzles. Third book is one you passed already a couple of screens back. I thought it was one that was earlier on. So I'll go back to that shelf. Lights. It might have been even before this. I don't know if this was the first set of shelves or not. I think it was.
There are 4 lights.
Oh, there we go.
There are 4 lights.
I should probably set that to just lights, huh? That would make more sense, wouldn't it? Funny that popped into your head for some reason.
There are 4 lights.
Or at least mirror it to 4 lights. Yeah, I could do that. Oh no! He's back!
There are 4 lights.
It's not on this one? I'm pretty sure this was the first set of shelves I came to. Why does it have to be so catchy? I don't see it. Someone here, Aloa's Big Book of Jokes. Yeah, a racial slur to racial slur to walk into a bar. I missed it again. How did I miss it again? Oh my goodness. Oh, there it is. There it is. Secrets of the Roman Catacombs. All right, let's see. Yeah, Book of Maps. That's what it was. Let's see. Deep beneath the city. Turn on APU, switch L, pump oil, pressure handle C 3 times. Turn on fuel pump, switch Q, switch to tank, fuel winded, blah, 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 view meter. Yeah, what is this? Iceman? We're going to start flying or driving a sub? Let's see. It's like a first edition. All right. Yeah, that part is fun. Okay, so here's what we have to look for. When I say you have to be very careful about what you're looking at, I think really the whole thing can be different. But see, the angels are facing the left. Not sure who that is. Facing down 2 cups. And then look at the orientation, the shield. That orientation. Right off the bat, they're facing opposite directions. Not the right one. There's 5 different window designs. Okay. Well, that's more than I knew. Copy of Yakov Smirnov's America on 6 rubles a day. Still not the right one because those have angels facing opposite directions. Do I have a planned escape route from the castle? Yeah. Any way out of that building. I can't remember exactly. I mean, I remember the castle because it's a real pain in the butt. But I can't remember what the order was, like how to actually get out. Okay, here we go. I don't think this is the right one anyway, either. Because, oh, those are 3 cups. Okay, this might be the right one. You just got out, right? You never say the Hitler route. Saw the Hitler route. The scene with I love the scene with the stamp guy. I remember watching Last Crusade in the theaters when it first came out. Me and a friend of mine, and we were in high school at the time, and we in fact it wasn't long after I turned 16, like maybe a few weeks. And we drove to the theater, we watched the movie, and that scene comes up, and the theater is just, I mean, everybody laughed. Like it was one of the funniest scenes in the film. This might be it. No, it's not, is it? Because that doesn't look right, does it? I guess it could be. Okay. 6, 2, and 4. I can remember how this part worked. It's an ancient inscription, 7, 6, and 4. Note particular care taken in drawing the shield, the areas above it, and the angels. The cryptic message below seems to have something to do with the Roman numerals and stone pillars. If ye would enter, follow the second on the left. Okay, so it's the second number on the left pillar, I think is what that means. You got soft locked here? So 2. Okay, so it's going to be this one, but I forgot to grab something. It's just over here. Yakov would make fun of Soviet Russia with things like Russian Express credit card. Don't leave home. Yeah. After you read the diary, Indy will tell you which windows look very similar to the picture in the diary versus... Yeah, forgot about that, actually. That's a good point. I think one more. Yeah. Okay, so this is it. If I'm not mistaken.
That doesn't work.
So if we look, it looks just like the picture in the diary. I forgot about that. Cool. Well, that works. Okay. I thought that was the
3DO.
sound in the game, Winter Slice. Good timing. I don't see anything special about it. Okay, this is where... Here we go. Deep beneath the city.
This seems pointless.
Oh, we're suddenly in Paris. According to the movie, Venice has catacombs. No. Which is... Does Venice really have catacombs, considering it's practically underwater? I mean, wouldn't they just be big tubes of water? I mean... It's like if we built a swimming pool in our yard right now, it would basically be a pond. Or not a swimming pool, but a basement. I don't know what I was thinking. If we built a basement, it would turn into a pond. Or a swimming pool. Sorry, see, it's late. My brain's not functional anymore. This is where Bob and Threadbare tries to get out of the dragon's... Oh, wait. And they were full of petroleum for extra fun, yeah. Alright, so one of these, I think it's this one. Maybe they could be either one of them and is randomly selected when you play the game. You ever been to a church in Venice that had a super dark crypt, but it was technically above the ground level? Ah, yeah.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Checked on the net. Indeed, Venice has catacombs. Interesting. Maybe further inland, perhaps.
They came from the depths of the void.
So it's this one that we're in. And I guess we need to get all the way over here. Maybe here, here, or here. Not really sure. Okay. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I save a screenshot. Yeah. Oh, you know, you're right. You're probably right. There's probably tons of stuff we wouldn't even know about. I've often wondered how much stuff is buried that, you know, people have looked for centuries. Oh, this legendary thing. It's like every once in a while you see somebody, well, more frequently in like England, really, somebody will find some entrance to, you know, a catacomb or a cave or even a well or something that's been beneath their home for centuries. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know Istanbul is like that. Paris has an underground. London's got a couple of undergrounds, really, I think. It's been built a couple of times. Atlanta, Georgia's got an underground. After they burned it, they built on top of it. You know, after Sherman came through and burned down Atlanta during the U.S. Civil War, they built on top of that. New York's got an underground, but I think that's mostly just sewers and old subways. You don't ever want to go to Paris underground? Why? Probably got a good reason. You're allowed to post a link, have a link about... Sure, yeah, as long as it doesn't break any terms or, you know, conditions or anything like that for Twitch, I'm good with that. Or spread any viruses or hate, any of that kind of stuff, you know. Seattle does too. It might. I don't know about Seattle for sure. Istanbul was Constantinople. Yeah, Istanbul was Constantinople. What? Historically, not even that long ago. You mean Schliemann found the actual city of Troy in 1873. Before that, he was considered at least semi-mythical. Trying to see if I'm in the right place here. Oh, okay, I see where I am. Fun fact, there were many cities there, and Schliemann actually dug through the real Troy to get to what he thought was Troy. That's funny. Only at nighttime. I don't go in there at nighttime. Ooh. It's an old pirate's hook. I don't think you can get lost in the forest here in Germany. Why do you say that? Isn't the Black Forest, like, enormous? Enormous and extremely dense? You've never been in, obviously never been in a forest at night. Yeah, you can get really lost in a good forest. Replaced by hard, dry mud. How about... And there are roads everywhere, or train tracks. The cities are close to each other. Eh. What's that? Slab. Can't get a grip on it. Use hook. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Not sure I know. Oh, I think I know where this is on the map. Oh, that's right. I remember this room. This is where we need to get to, but I need to get this open first. Or do I come from the other side? I don't remember. You've heard the Black Forest is a place of cake. The most delicious kind. You live in the countryside, yes, even if you know the forest, it could be a bit confusing at night.
Greetings and salutations.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This. Not about diving into that water. All right. So I know what to do with that. Okay, so I can't get to the other part of the map until after I sort that part out. Hi, Mystic. What you doing, buddy? You can't come over here right now. We're busy. The only fun German word you know is Krankenwagen. Krankenwagen. Do I want to know? Not confusing at all. Mystic, what you up to, buddy? Now, you can't come over here because then you start chewing on cables. Just means, oh, okay. That's your second language. It's a wambulance. What do you think you're doing? What did you do that for? Not very nice. That's not very nice either. Here, you little punk. No, you can't get over here. You start chewing on cables and stuff. That's literally all you do when you get on my desk. Ambulance. Alright, let's see. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I have my screenshot of the map up here. Okay. I forgot how I loosened that. From an MTG card, Gollum. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how to start pronouncing that word. Like, where does it begin and where does it end? I think this is just a dead end. I think this is just a dead end over here after a hairpin turn. It sounds like word salad in German, too, to be honest, and you're... Magic artifact creature playing piece. Is that what that might say? Gollum enchantment artifact creature token. Let's see. All right, so I'm missing something. That's just a dead end. Okay, that's just a dead end. I thought making word salad was a German pastime. I guess we don't really do word salad in English. It's just made up words. As far as we get.
Great hat, man.
Oh my goodness. A taco hat, you say? Don't call it word salad, it's mashed potato. All right, does this work? Admiral Taco. Yeah, that hat isn't in the list, but you know it exists. It's my wife's hat. She is like, do they think you're streaming on my channel? And Airplane is Flugzeug, or something like that. I'm probably butchering it, which literally means flight thing, and a vacuum is a Staubsauger, which means dust sucker. Zug. Zug. What is this, Warcraft? When you hear salad, you sometimes, you think sometimes on Salad Days sketch from Monty Python. Let's see, where am I? I need to go this way. Dutch is just as silly. A skunk is stink deer, which literally means stink animal. I mean, you know, it's accurate, all right? I mean, look at it like this. And in fact, I'm gonna post a YouTube link here real quick because I watched it earlier this afternoon, and it just highlights how stupid English can really be at times. Let me see if I can. All right, for those who don't know who Gallagher is, first of all, I'm sorry, and two, you should. He's hilarious. If you really want to see some funny, a funny take on English, watch like the first minute and a half of that. It's Gallagher talking about various words that have similar spellings, maybe one letter difference, and how they don't sound anything alike. And it's probably even more hilarious to those who can speak English who are not native English speakers. You're like, whoa, wait a minute, English is really messed up, isn't it? Meanwhile, the English word for thing comes from the Viking term for judicial assembly. Judicial assembly. Interesting. There's no elegant, well-constructed language spoken by humans. Is there? Is there not? I mean, I know all languages have their quirks, of course. And I guess some are worse than others, and English may not be the worst, but English has definitely got to be ranking up there. You think the Russian language is sexy? I mean... Zugum, Zummum Zug, I think is right. And the Dutch language is cute. Gaelic sounds really cool. I like this. I like the way Gaelic sounds. Okay, this... Water. I hate water. Esperanto is well-constructed but not elegant. Klingon is elegant but not well-constructed. These separate threads of conversation now remind me that Monty Python did a couple of episodes entirely written in German. Did they? I didn't know that. Zugum Zug means round for round. Huh. In Germany, there are many old Thingstatten, either just historical ruins or open-air theaters, thing locations in the Viking judicial assembly sense. Come on, Eddie, you made water. You're made of water, yeah, really. And then there is Sindarin Elvish. The first Monty Python, or the first Python German episode was in German. The second was filmed in English and dubbed. Really? I didn't know that. There's 2 German episodes from a trip they went to Munich. I had no clue. Okay. That first one has some good jokes about Albrecht Dürer. You believe that the all-German episodes was meant to be a pilot. Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Rather than manual, which comes from Latin for hand. Eyes around the girl in the corner, his book is upside down. I have never heard that, Yuli. That's funny. People do say handbook in English, but less often. The German words for Mein Kampf are Mein Kampf. Well, I kind of figured. What you found much fascinating about your childhood, the series The Munsters, always was aired in original English only with German subtitles. Huh. That I didn't know. Mind if I take this? Let's see. She's either in love or there's something in the wine. He's either in love or drunk on this bad wine, or both. I can't say much for this table manners, but I marvel at his appetite. Why would anyone want a cat when they could have a dog? Because Mystic. Yeah. The Pythons were all Cambridge lads, so it's not surprising they all spoke German to some extent. Sadly, you can't pet the cat. I know, there's no pet verb. Even on regional TV, so you found your heart and passion for the English language. I forget who it was. There's a Twitch streamer. He still streams occasionally. I don't see him as often as I used to, that I used to watch quite frequently. But I forget his exact nationality. And he goes by XXX Indie XXX. You might know him. You might have actually seen his streams. But I remember him talking once, and he spoke English very well. Like, he speaks it very well. In fact, he streams in English. And never learned it formally. He said that all of the TV there when he grew up was always in English. Like, it was a lot of American TV was being broadcast there at the time, and they never really had them dubbed, so it was always in English, and he learned English from watching American TV. Yeah, see? Winter Slice, same thing. I can imagine it's probably true across the board. We should probably do something similar here. People would finally learn another language. Hey, Cherry Onion, how you doing? Let's see. I think I need to get this wine bottle here. Netherlands and the Nordics have English with subtitles. I know he was... I want to say he was in the Nordics, but I don't remember which specific. Either way, and I don't want to insult anybody. This is not my intent. But Germany is large enough to warrant dubs. I mean, yeah. You grew up in an English-speaking country, but you credit Sierra with your excellent spelling grades. all the text parsing, right, T-Pat? You were born in English, though. Even find some words hard to say at times. I do all the time. There's also a German word for telephone nobody uses today anymore. Fernsprechen. Bar speaker, yeah. Or Fernsprecher, yeah. Sorry, typo. On the beginning of the 80s, some German TV stations started to air movies with German and English audio tracks. Interesting. Or rather, Germany plus Austria plus Switzerland breaks 100 mil, therefore warrants dubs. All right, let's see. Fernsprecher, the old word for telephone. New hat? Actually, it's an old hat. It's Coffee's hat. It's just not on the list of hats. because it's Coffee's. Telephone means far speaker and greet. Huh, I didn't know that. Secret hat. Fun fact, the German word for cell phone is handy. Can I get a handy? Sorry. A sombrero. Is that what you're saying, Mara? I need a sombrero. Many Germans. This isn't a Leisure Suit Larry stream, all right? Anyway, many Germans think that's from English and get some confused stares from English speakers. Yeah, if you walked up to me and said, "Hey, can I have a handy?" I'd probably be looking at you kind of weird too. Yeah. Totally a Leisure Suit Larry stream. I mean, you know. Okay, I know that I need to get this wine bottle, but I honestly don't remember how. Let's see. It's so silly. I bought a handy today. What did you go to? Did you go to Starbucks? Another false friend has become because the German bekommen means to get, so people not so good in English might ask the waiter, "Can I become a schnitzel?" Okay, I need the wine bottle. I need to fill it with this water, and I think that's how I free up that torch that's caked in mud. Similarly, when a restaurant has a screen outdoors for Soccer World Cup, we call it public viewing, yeah. Can't decide between fettuccine and veal. She looks pretty bored. I can't say I blame her. Is it true that John Kennedy said, "I am pastry, ich bin ein Berliner"? Where German words are getting really dusty and complicated by bureaucracy, some words really pull your shoes out. Your grandmother told me that when she was learning English, one of the jokes in the English class for the Germans was, "Shall I become a cup of coffee?" I hope never, sir. Berliner means both a citizen of Berlin and a donut. Oh, really? Shouldn't you be guarding a Berliner right about now? Who ate all the Berliners? The Berliner call the Berliner Pfannkuchen. Pfannkuchen? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Ich bin ein Berliner is correct for "I am a person from Berlin," but yes, it could also be interpreted as a donut. I am a donut. I am a person from Donut.
Do you know who ate all the donuts?
Do you know who ate all the Berliners? Berliners and hamburgers always getting eaten. Who would say that? German sound don't, yeah, how? It's kind of like a, it probably does. I need to hear it. I need to actually hear it. City in Bavaria called Regensburg. And a sausage named Regensburger exists too, oh no. Given the choice, I think I would choose beef hot dog over burger, but that's just me. I mean, a good beef hot dog is good. very bad year. How can I... It's not what I carried a whip for. I don't remember how I got that wine bottle. Yeah, probably. All right. It is that time. It's actually after 9 o'clock. And I'm kind of stuck at the moment. I'm not really sure. Yeah, clear head will help it later. Episode 15, Series 15. Oh, IQ points, yeah. All right. Let's see. I want to restart. What was the exit button? I can't remember. Anyway. I can't remember how to exit the game. Hamburger, but there's not really a, yeah. Polish, the W sounds like V. In English, it used to sound like a V until they added a W. What was it? One V was V, and then two V's was like the W sound, and eventually they just merged them. Unless you count the British pronunciation of you, which a German would phonetically spell, yeah, which comes out sounding like, well, the Bayerisch Motorwerken meme. No, I don't. This week's schedule hasn't been posted on Discord yet. Yes, the reason, in fact, I'm going to end stream here, but the reason why is I finally did get a job. However, it's more of a temporary position on my part. And the schedule for it hasn't been posted yet. I will know tomorrow, and I apologize for that. In fact, I'll know more as time goes on. For those who don't know, I'm actually in the process of getting licensed to sell insurance. So I'm actually switching, sort of changing careers, if you want to call it that. More of a sideways move into another career. No, I'm not a temporary secretary, although that would be a Paul McCartney song. Not a great one either. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But I will be back. I do plan to be back this week. God, I wish I could say exactly when. Just keep an eye on Discord. It'll be posted tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening at the latest. I will make a point of doing a Blue Sky tweet as well with the schedule once I get it too. A Blue Sky tweet, yeah, whatever. So, State Farm on your side. Could be. You and me both, Winter Slice. I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to miss Friday night, and I really don't want to miss my Friday morning stream, but I have a feeling one will be impacted at least a little bit, if anything, late on Friday night. So, we'll see. Anyway, before I go, King Argaroth, that girl Joey, thank you both for the massive raids. I really appreciate that. I hope you guys had a good time. I had a blast playing Legion Duke Larry 3 and finishing it up. And, of course, we're just starting to get into Indiana Jones here in The Last Crusade. This one's a little more brutal with his puzzles by comparison, but it's still a lot of fun. I may break down and just simply pull out a walkthrough through it because I remember really struggling to get through this game the first time. In any case, thank you all for being here. I hope to see you guys real soon. I will be back sometime this week. Promise. Just when is the question. We'll see you guys soon. Be safe, everybody. Oh no, Dark Max. It's all right. It's all right.